Halloween season is movie watching season, if you ask me. Please welcome a horror culture activist and producer of the new horror musical The Devil's Carnival, Spooky Dan Walker. And the senior editor for Rotten Tomatoes, Gray Drake. Now, we'll be talking about things that get you in the mood for Halloween. And today, Gray, let me ask you, is there anything scarier than Stanley Kubrick's The Shining?
My mother when I have not picked my laundry up off the floor. Sorry, Mom. But actually, The Shining is the movie that made me really upset that I lived in a place where my dad had to chop wood occasionally for our fire. Terrifying film. Still terrifying all these decades later.
Yeah, totally. Like, Dan, what do you think? What makes this movie still scary 30 years later?
You know, what's weird is everybody always talks about Stanley Kubrick as visionary, which is obvious, but it's the music. The music is so hardcore, and you can turn the movie off and just have the music playing all over the place in your house, and it would sound like a horror score, like a haunted house.
That's what you
really
play
cool.
in intimate moments, isn't it?
How did you know?
Yeah, and then those creepy twins.
Ugh.
Sexy? Well, I guess a little young to be sexy. A little young.
That's really creepy. If you watch it with a guy who thinks that's sexy, that's like double scary.
It's the only thing that's scarier than The Shining.
And also, I feel bad for the guy who plays the janitor, Scatman Crothers.
Oh my God, when he gets it, spoiler alert.
A little late for the spoiler now.
I mean, it was a weird time, you know? Back then, you knew the black guy was going to die first.
Absolutely.
Luckily, things have changed for the better in this country.
Have they, though, really? Have they? Just because he's our president doesn't mean that he's not going to be killed in a horror film. Is that too political? Can I not?
It's a little.
Too edgy?
Wow. Can we talk about the Holocaust or something more uplifting? That was Halloween time.
This sounds so very dark. We're talking about fun Halloween things. All right. Before he made Super, James Gunn directed a horror film called Slither. I want to hear what you guys think about this.
I love this movie. I love movies that are like scary and dark and fun in tone the whole time through. And it's got Nathan Fillion, who can pretty much make everything fun.
Ooh, you got that right.
So that, and then seeing Michael Rooker from Walking Dead and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer turn into this super wacky creature.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Henry
Super
Portrait of a
boring.
Serial Killer, by the way, most horrifying movie ever.
Totally. And
Because it looks like it's just some guy turned on a camcorder and killed people.
It really does.
it's perfect casting because Michael Rooker, like, no matter how nice he's being in real life, it always seems like a total creep to me. He's just that good an actor.
I
Right?
totally agree. I've met him a bunch of times, and every time it's like, that's Henry. Even though, in Slither he's awesome, but, yeah, he's still Henry.
It's still pretty damn creepy.
That movie's so cool. It really reminds me of an old David Cronenberg movie called Shivers. And anytime you've got chicks in the bathtub with some slug crawling up towards her hoo-ha, it's like, that's Halloween.
That is Halloween.
Yeah, and if you have
Or normal
slugs
better.
crawling into your hoo-ha, you should probably go see a doctor. Crawling in or out, really. Now, you guys want to talk about American Horror Story?
Yes!
It's back on FX, and this is made by the same guy that makes Glee, right?
It is.
Both
Which is
equally
odd.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this season, especially because they're doing something really unprecedented where they're going a completely different storyline / direction. Like, Jessica Lange all of a sudden is no longer the creepy next-door neighbor. She's creepy nun that runs a mental asylum.
And she's really creepy.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
I wonder if she's as scary as, Michael Rooker in real life. Like, if you see her and be scary Jessica Lange. Not the one from King Kong, but the American Horror Scare.
Oh, man. And James Cromwell is playing this evil doctor, and he totally reminds me of an old gynecologist I had on my HMO once. Really just, I don't know why this segment
Again,
is so
sexy.
hoo-ha
All right.
obsessed, but whoops. That's Halloween to me, you guys.
It is.
The creepy old gynecologist always scares everyone. I like to get creepy young proctologists. Boy, oh
They're
boy.
everywhere.
Dan, you just produced a short called The Devil's Carnival. Tell us about it.
It's a horror musical, and it's actually available. It came out yesterday. So it's really, really cool. We have a big fan base with the movie that the director and co-writer Terrence Studiouch had done before called Repo, the Genetic Opera. Sort of Rocky Horror-ish in following.
Paris Hilton sings.
Paris Hilton sings, and she's good.
Yeah.
And so this was sort of the follow-up to that, since Repo wasn't really, sequel to Repo wasn't happening. So this is exactly what it is, and the
It's
devil's
available
singing.
today.
On Netflix, Hulu, at Hot Topic exclusively, and on our website, devilscarnival.com.
Fantastic.
Thanks. Hot topic.
Thank you so much, Great Drake and Spooky Dan, for helping us. Stay tuned for tech and internet mogul Robert Herjavec will be here to talk about life in the Shark Tank.
The feed is brought to you